IMARA SHAFI is struggling to cope. She says her world turned upside down after her husband was arrested earlier this year. It happened at a time of heightened tension, shortly after Muslim fighters launched attacks in and around Sri Lanka's capital, Colombo, on Easter Sunday. The family says his arrest is part of an orchestrated campaign.
I didn't have my job. I don't have a place to stay, as well as my children are not going to school. I had to face all these problems, and I have to find solutions for them, for those problems, as well as the legal. I have to look after the legal aspect of my husband as well.
She doesn't want to show her face because she says the family has received threats. Her husband, who's a doctor, has been accused of mass sterilization of Sinhalese women. He was arrested in a case that police admit had no basis. He has since been released on bail. The scandal followed weeks of anti-Muslim sentiment after the Easter attacks, which targeted churches and hotels, killing more than 250 people. It also led to a spate of anti-Muslim violence, targeting homes and businesses. These events were on the agenda of the UN Special Rapporteur on Religious Freedom during his 11-day visit here.
Lack of preemptive response is something everyone notes. And then there are many cases in which, either because of mismatch of the police available and the mobs in question, that some of these mobs were able to rampage on.
Addressing the media on Monday, SHAHEED said he had heard complaints of double standards by law enforcement authorities and about the failure of the state to protect people against hate crimes. Groups like the Buddhist Power Force or Bodubala Sena have been accused of carrying out organized violence against the Muslim community, a charge its CEO denies.
We have never spoken against the Muslims in an organized manner. The Bodubala Sena on every occasion spoke against Muslim terrorism. That has no connection to the ordinary Muslim community.
Referring to the recent violence, the UN Special Rapporteur says Sri Lanka's government must do more to protect minorities.
In order to challenge extremism and create inclusion, you really need to have rule of law well protected. Where rule of law is not protected, then the weaker communities are vulnerable to attacks, and the majority feels that they can exploit that space to their advantage.
SHAHEED says reforming the education system to teach respect for all religions is important. SHAHEED says Sri Lankans should work towards creating a common identity beyond religion and race. Given the country's violent past, most Sri Lankans are likely to agree, if politicians will let them. Minelle Fernandez, Al Jazeera, Colombo.